Are you wearing one of your fabrics?
Yes, I am. This is in one of the kits. Oh boy, let me think. And I just, oh, you're gonna go look. I was gonna ask Brenda to tell me.
I mean, I don't know what kit it's in. I was just gonna look at
It's
the
either gonna be in the, I think it's gonna be in the luxury or the posh, but I can't remember.
This is it.
Yep, the fabric's also available by the yard, and it is a rayon jersey, and it is. I got one. I got all they had. I bought it from a jobber, so there won't be any reorders on it. But I did buy a nice big bold bottom. There. Yep. There.
Yes, it's in the Posh kit. So I did link the fabric on its own, and then I'm gonna link the Posh kit, and then it's in there if you're looking for a kit or the fabrics
Yeah, if you've
separate.
already got the pattern or you want to use the fabric in some other pattern, obviously the fabric is available by the yard. But as I keep saying, but some people don't know, they're new, that the kits are always 20% off. So what you see when you look at a kit, you'll see what the price would be if you bought everything separate. And then we've reduced it by approximately 20% or a little more. So they're not only convenient, but they're economical.
And then if you saw the newsletter, you know what we're working on today.
Yes. So, uh, let's see. We have made some special alterations to the pattern to make it more universal so that all figure types
Let's
can
talk.
wear it.
Let's. What pattern are we talking about?
Oh,
We're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about our newest pattern. Very cool.
The
The
artisan,
artisan tee.
and as we say in the description, you can call it a tunic because it's really long enough that you probably call it a tunic. It's based, the upper part of it, the shoulders and the bust line are all the same block as our 5 EZTs. So if you made our 5 EZTs, you know what size to start with, just like that. So you'll be ready. But one of the other things that we noticed, and we always notice about patterns anyway, and by now you all know that patterns are basically have to be drafted to some type of shape and height. So patterns are generally drafted for 5'6", and we're not all 5'6". Most of us aren't. It just happens to be an average height, and it gives you the opportunity to add a little to make it longer, and to take a little away to make it shorter. So it's a real good mean place to stay at. So, but when you have a pattern like the artisan tee, it's got a lot of different little breaks in it where the hemline changes lengths or shape. And those can be extremely pleasing if they hit the right part of your body, but they can also be a little distracting if they don't. So today we're going to talk about how to make some of those changes and how to figure out where it's going to look best on your figure type and your body. So we're pretty excited about that because we think this pattern will suit just anybody as long as they have the flexibility and so to change it. And so often you don't know where to start. You're like, oh, maybe if I make it a bigger size, or maybe if I just make it 4 inches longer, and then it doesn't look right. You don't know what to do. You've wasted time. So let us help you with this one. And you're going to love this. I know Brenda said to me today, well, now I don't know which version I want because now I like the. I said, you don't know which one to make first.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
You can have so many. You make it out of a print, it looks one way. You make it out of a solid, it looks different, and you can make your print shorter, your
yeah,
solid
much longer. You
longer.
could go even longer than we have. And we even have a nice crushed velvet with a sparkle on it. And I have washed this fabric. Let me pull that one forward so
Yeah,
you can
while
look
you're
at.
doing that, I'm going to answer Sean. Sean, yes, we are selling the fabric Janet is wearing. I actually linked it. If you scroll up in the comments, I linked it both the fabric by itself and it is in the Posh kit, for the artisan tee. So either way, if you're looking for it, that's where it is.
Okay, so this is a crushed velvet. It's a polyester crushed velvet with these large glitter sparkles adhered to it. And let me tell you, I washed this and put it through the dryer, the fabric, before we cut this. And I scoured the washer and dryer, and these things don't come off. So you can rest assured this is going to look the same after it's washed as far as the face of the fabric. I love this. I had a pair of pants out of a fabric like this without the glitter, and I kept those things for years because they always look dressy and it's extremely comfortable fabric. It's very slick on the back, very smooth, lays against your skin really nice. Anyway, you can make an evening outfit out of this or just your little holiday and wear a leggings or a skirt with it, and it immediately jazzes you up and without the least bit of discomfort because this is a really comfortable top. So, you know what? I'll just go through the ones we have here, Jess, and then we'll get to the changes.
Sure.
Okay, so, and again, you're going to see these called out in the newsletter as well. So, now, all right, I'm not going to be able to move these. So,
Oh, that's fine.
okay, so this is view A, which of course has the rounded neck. And only change we made on this, see, the only change we made on this was to lengthen this front piece. That's all we did. And I'll show you how because you don't.
Whoops, sorry guys.
We did not just short. We did not use the short and lengthen line. We used a different method. So I want to show you that. So, anyways, that would be view one, but we brought it down about 5 inches to really cover the belly area because that was the problem for a lot of people. There wasn't enough coverage. All right, so this one is so far turns out to be one of our favorites. Now, this one is actually started out with view B, which has a V neck, but I changed the neckline. I'll show you how to do that. And we made this much longer on both the right and the left side. So you get much longer down here, which really gives you that really nice asymmetrical and elongating look. And then the orchid over here is the view C. And so it has this really interesting asymmetrical neckline. And we added the triangle. The triangle in the pattern is only for A and B. But I'm going to show you how to adapt the C to add the triangle again to get a fuller and lower front. All right,
Then
so
what
that
about the one you're wearing?
the one I'm wearing is the View C, just with the triangle.
So you could see it on a body. Because I know that that one on the dress form is a little large
Yes,
for the dress form.
it is a little big for the dress form, and you know I wish I had more mannequins because it just really shows the garment off and gives you a much better idea of what it's going to look like on than a dress form because the dress form just sort of hangs there. But anyways, that's the same one as this. All right. And just so you know, the measurement lengths that I changed these, I am wearing, and I am 5'1". I think I'm still 5'1". I used to be 5'2". But anyway, that'll give you an idea. But don't always take that to heart because sometimes, as I found out in a group I measured one time, the girl who was the very shortest girl in the group had the longest torso, the longest back waist length. So that play goes in plays a part in the lengthening. So even though I'm short, I do have a longer torso. I just have much shorter legs. So understanding that also, can be helpful in determining the best length and shape for your body. Now I'm going to go over here. If there's any immediate questions, Jessica can field those. And I'm going to get ready to show you the demonstration on how to make these pattern changes.
All right, should we get that ready? We're going to turn the camera around and she is going to start with view A. This microphone closer to you.
Okay.
Quick turn there.
Okay. All right. What you'll need to make these pattern changes is some type of paper, pattern paper. It could be paper that you cut away when you cut the pattern out. It can be the dotted paper that we have available on our website. It can be just plain white paper, anything so that you can make this addition. Now, what I like to do when I'm adding on to a pattern is to create the grain line on the new extension so that I know I keep everything in line. So we've got a grain line here and a grain line here. So I make sure those are nice and so I can just keep everything straight. Now, I'm going to use removable tape by Scotch. And the reason I love this tape as opposed to just your basic Scotch tape, there's two reasons. One is I can take it off. So if I've made an error or I want to change something, I can just peel it right off, no problem. The other reason is when you take regular Scotch tape and you go to tape down a pattern like this, the electricity from that tape pulls the paper up and it's very difficult to get a smooth contact. You end up wrinkling your pattern, which you don't want to do. So I like to cover the entire raw edge of the pattern with the tape. Some people will, especially, when you're doing those tiled patterns, oh, I don't want to waste all that tape and I'll just tape it every few inches. Well, here's what happens when you go to use that pattern, especially if you use it more than once or twice, and you fold it up. Now, those little edges that aren't taped down get caught on things. It just makes a terrible mess. And then you wish you hadn't done that. So what I'm going to do is tape it from the back as well. So I want a pattern to last. I am going to tape it from both sides because again, as it's folded, this gets caught. It can rip it. It can just bugger it up something terrible. So we don't want that. So just make sure you get that all covered really well. And I could not have done this with regular Scotch tape this fast. I had to be very, very slow because that electricity just made a mess. All right, so now we're ready to add our extension. So for the ones that I am showing you, the examples, we have lengthened the right side of the front 5 inches. So I'm going to just come down this line right here, and I'm going to measure 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's where I want to stop. And then I'm going to connect this 5 inches here all the way to blend it down to this very point. So I need a really long ruler, which I am lucky to have here. And you want to blend it right into that point. And then you just cut it out. And now you've got your straight of grain all the way to the end. I don't know if you've noticed, but with my patterns, you'll notice my grain lines go almost the full length of the pattern whenever they can. And that's because if I'm only measuring in one area, I might find later that this got a little tweaked. So I want to be able to measure from end to end and have it exactly the same. And then there's no doubt that it's right. So this is the view A, and that's all you have to do. Now there's one other piece to view A, which is the triangle. Okay, the triangle sews to the right side of the front. You'll see there's a dot here. So we're going to match up our dots. And in this example, I'm making an extra large. Okay, so there's our dot. And this is how it's going to be sewn to the pattern, approximately. There's a little bit of a curve there, so it's not exact. But here's what I want you to notice. Here is your notch. This says front notch, and this hem is 3/8. Once this hem is folded up, this notch should land right at the fold of that hem. So now we know that this is how long of an extension would hang from our shirt past the hem. But we've added this much, 5 inches. So let's move that notch down here 5 inches. Now we know this is where the hem is, and this is going to be the amount of our extension if we don't do anything about it. And that is only like 1 3/4. So you're going to want to lengthen the triangle, but you're going to want to lengthen it so that it is at least 4.5, 5, or even better, longer than when it's hem. Now, how you do that is you're only going to lengthen the front because we're making the front longer, but we're not making the back longer. So the back has to stay here because this meets the back hem exactly on the side. So this we don't want longer, this we want longer. So all you have to do is extend it the length you want. I'm thinking this is kind of short. I might even go another couple inches. Then when you draw out, you want to match this little notch in the corner down here. Okay. That's because if you haven't made this yet, that sets you up for a really nice clean corner when you fold and hem that. Okay. So that's how you make the triangle longer. And again, remember, you can bring that down even longer. Just do not lengthen the back of the triangle. All right. So then let's talk about the next one. And I use view B for this one. And this is longer both on the right and the left. Remember, it's a print, and this extends even longer down to close to the knee or maybe below the knee, depending on your height. So what I did was the same as I did before, extend this 5, but I came over here and extended this one 3. And make sure you duplicate this, the bottom here, this little edge, the same length and the same angle. And then you just connect from here to where you extended it 5 inches. Just a little bit more fabric. And let me tell you that in this case, you might want to add a little, like a half yard extra yardage. In the previous one, where we only extended one side, you probably don't need to extend. I didn't need to. I still got it out of the same yardage. All right. So then, view C. Now that, oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot to show you how to do the neckline. Okay, so we want a curved neckline on here. We just want to change it up. We don't want the one that came with the pattern, and we don't want the V. We want something different. So you're going to fold the pattern piece on center front. after you've taped a piece of paper in here. All right, so we're going to fold this right on center front. And then you're going to draw in your neckline or 50% of your neckline. I use my handy dandy ruler, curved ruler here. I want just a little bit of a straight area right here. So I did that by hand. This will be my neckline. So now all I have to do is cut this out. And when you open it up, you have a perfectly symmetrical neckline. If you try to draw from here and around and back up here, chances are you're not going to have a symmetrical neckline. So always fold it in half and then cut it, and you'll have it completely symmetrical. Can't be anything else. Okay, so that's how you change the neckline. And of course, you can change the neckline in any version that you like. I'm looking forward to seeing the different versions you all come up with. As we did them here in our studio, our minds were just racing with all the other possibilities. We just couldn't make them all. All right. So in view C and view A and B have the same side seam with one exception. View C kind of tips out right here. And that's what you want it to do if you're not putting a triangle on. But we decided we want the triangle. So we've just folded back that little extra. You can retrace this and cut it off. You can do it any way you want. And then we've transferred the dot that matches to the triangle over onto view C so that you'll know where to put that triangle, right? And then it's the same as view A, 5 inches down, come over and meet up without changing the length or shape of this corner. All right. Now I want to show you one more thing. And just in case we haven't covered this, we are not lengthening the back in these versions at all. The back I don't feel needs to be lengthened, but again, you might be a lot longer in the torso than I am, and you may need a couple extra inches. You'll be the decider on that. All right. So what we have here is the 3/4 inch sleeve. But in some versions, we found that we wanted a longer sleeve. So again, I've drawn that extra uh, grain line and matched it up. I found the center of my sleeve because when you have a long sleeve versus a 3/4 length sleeve, the long sleeve needs to be a lot narrower at the hem than the 3/4 because your arm is narrower at the wrist than it is at the forearm. Okay, so that's got to come down. So I knew that I wanted 8 1/4. That's the width I wanted mine to be. So now that's the pattern, not finished. 8 1/4. So I measured 4 1/8 on each side, and that's how I came up with the width of the sleeve. Now we have to add the hem, and we want a 3/8 inch hem. So I'm just going to add my hem here. And then you're going to fold on no. Well, we're going to cut that out. Sorry. We're going to cut this out. Then we're going to fold. All right, so you're going to fold it on the finished length. So you fold the hem up. Now this is before we cut it out. And if you don't know why, you're going to know in just 1 second. So we're just going to cut it out. Now, when we unfold this, we're going to have exactly the right width of hem because, let me turn this over and show you, because it was folded up there. We have to have this width to fold that hem up to, right? So by folding it up and then cutting it, we didn't have to measure a thing. Just cut it and we know it's exact. So that's the way that's done. So now you have a longer sleeve. How much longer? That's up to you. You're going to have to do some measurement. I don't have particularly long arms. I know Brenda, she has to go a couple inches longer than I do. So it's a very arbitrary number when it comes to sleeve length. You have to do that. But that is the adjustments that you need to make. But I have one suggestion, and that is, we love to make the muslin. And the first time you can make a muslin out of the fabric that you're going to end up with. So let's say I made this shirt, but I don't know exactly how long I want it. So maybe I cut it 7 inches longer instead of 5. And I just baste it together. And then I play with it on my body and I fold out up the hem and I say, okay, no, 7 was too much, but 5's not enough, so I'll go 6. Then I go back to the drawing board and trim off what I didn't need and sew up my pattern. And now I know it's going to look great. So you have a finished garment that started out as a muslin kind of without wasting any time or fabric. So I think that's really the way to go to figure out exactly how you think it looks best on your body. So I hope you enjoy these changes and please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you or support you in your sewing. All right, so now let's get back to Jessica and let's see if there's any questions. Do you want me to stay over here, Jess? Probably. Let's see what the questions might be first.
I don't have any.
No questions. Okay, well, that's kind of good because that means we did a good job. But let's wait and see. Crickets?
We got a thank you.
Oh, good, good, good.
Cassie's here. She says your patterns are the best.
Thanks, Cassie.
She's not a plant.
No, if she was a plant, she wouldn't have stuck around this long.
Unless we paid her though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. All right. Well, that is great because it is a simple changes. But if anything is not completely clear, please don't be shy to ask because if it's not clear to you, it's not clear to somebody
yeah.
else as well.
And if you and check it out in the newsletter too,
Yeah.
because if you're more of a like visual stare at it,
Read it.
yeah, read it. It's
Mm-hmm.
in there as well.
Right, right. And so the newsletter will be archived on our website in a few minutes as soon as I get to it. And so if you aren't a subscriber, you'll be able to go and take a look at it. And then you may want to subscribe. Our newsletters go out 3 to 4 times a month, depending on just the situation here in the studio. I'm so surprised we don't have any questions. And again, if you want to make the back longer, then you will have to lengthen the back of the triangle the same amount because the triangle and the hem come together exactly. All right, well, remember today's the last day of the pattern sale, 20% off any or all patterns. The kits are always 20% off, and we've got kits for this as well as the Cardigan Express. I notice a lot of people are buying the two together. And we've got great fabrics that kind of go together too. So if you wanted to make the tunic and the cardigan and wear them together, let us know. We'll help you coordinate the fabrics.
Marianne, not related to your demo, but she has a question of, do you have a pattern you recommend that would work with multiple different woven fabrics?
A pattern for what? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, I do. If it's for a tunic, then I'm going to say not off the top of my head. However, the next thing Brenda wants us to try is to make this in a challis. And challis is a rayon, or well, not always, but she wants to do it in a rayon challis. And it acts just like a rayon knit, except for it doesn't stretch, but it's very loose and comfortable. So we were going to give that a try and see if that will work. Because I'm kind of thinking it will, because it's not that fitted. It's really got a loose effect. So,
Marianne says several mixed fabrics in a shirt woven.
okay, well, there we've done that a lot. You remember we did that with the easy shirt, and we took several different fabrics, different one for the cuff, different one for the pocket, coordinated them so they went together. I think we used a red, white, and black theme, black and white with a little red accent. And you can certainly do that, but I don't have a pattern that calls for that. That's all about your imagination. So when you look at that and you say, oh, that would be great if I mixed up the fabrics, but I really don't know where to start. Start with ready to wear. Start searching either the internet of your favorite styles of garments, especially clothes that you would buy, but you don't want to spend that much money. That's where you'll find the good ideas. And then you can take that idea from ready to wear and take your pattern and mix up your fabrics. And I think that's what you're looking for. So you can mix up several stripes. You can do polka dots and checks together. There's so many things you can do, but if you're a little nervous, then take your hint from ready to wear and find something that pleases your eye and duplicate that to some similarity. Then you'll feel a little safer, and you'll end up with something that you know you're going to like. Okay. And do you have anything else, Jess? No. All right. Well, we'll be back the first week of December, and you'll be seeing our newsletters in the meantime. We've got some more sales coming up, so I think there's some exciting things on the horizon. Um, and we want to hear from you, and we want to see what you do with this, especially if you do something entirely different. But if you're pleased and you get it done, take a picture of yourself, send it to us. We'd love to see it. And you're going to inspire others. So know that you're doing good works at the same time. So we just want to see it. And we know that it's difficult to post on our Facebook. I don't even know if it can be done anymore, but we can do it on your behalf. So if you send us a picture, we can put it out there either in the newsletter or on uh, Facebook and let other people be inspired by your work. All right. Well, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Um, well, I probably could as soon as we leave, but make sure that you've got your. I've talked to a couple people recently that weren't aware of our crayon, whatever way you say it, crayon, color system. So this is our color system for our fabrics. So if we can find a crayon in this box that comes close to the fabric, we put it on the fabric image so that you can go to your crayon box and pull it out and say, okay, because one person's scarlet is another person's cranberry, and it goes on and on. You can't describe colors anymore. You have to have some kind of. So $5 at your local big box store, department store, and you'll have your color chart.
We also linked the paper
Oh, yep.
that you were using today, so people know that that's what that is. We didn't touch on that too much.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's our dotted paper. It comes in the fitting kits. So if you're doing any of the slopers, you'll get 3 to 6 yards of the paper, and that's a lot. You'll have a lot to play with and make changes or trace out other patterns. I mean, my favorite thing is to trace out my pattern. I never um, pattern that I paid for, I purchased. My own, I just use them at with abandonment. But if I paid for it, then I'm going to trace it out because my original pattern stays pristine. And if I lose that little pattern piece or that little cuff or whatever, no worries. I just go out and trace another one. So, word to the wise, your pattern will stay pristine and you'll never have to worry about losing a piece if you do that. All right, I think we better go. We're hanging on there, but I hope you enjoyed the demonstration today, and I hope that you all go and play with your pattern and have fun. But remember, you can just make a muslin that turns into a garment by over exaggerating a couple of those changes and then try it on, base it together, try it on, play with it, and then you'll find what looks best on you. Have a great week. We'll see you again soon. Bye.